Alrighty, getting into today's charting session on NQ and MNQ. The reason for both is because I just charted on both, but I only took trades on MNQ. As you may or may not know, I am only trading micros to focus on smaller risk management and stuff like that, or better risk management. So yeah, let's get into it. Looking at NQ today. You can see here I was looking at a Power of 3 model or AMD model. I got on the charts at 9:35, so 5 minutes after market open, and felt as if I had already missed a move. I'm not gonna lie, I got up literally a little bit right before market open. So when I had opened the charts, I was on my phone in the bathroom. And yeah, so I wasn't at my setup yet. So looking at the charts, as soon as I got on though, I saw the accumulation. I saw what looked to be as if we were in the manipulation move, and we're getting ready for the distribution. Um, but the recent way that I learned this, this model specifically, again, this is considered AMD or Power of 3 or whatever. But technically, this model would be called the PDI, which is the pre-distribution inversion, which is how I recently learned it. Which again, it's still the Power of 3, except your entry, your entry plus what you're looking for is for um, a push through a fair value gap to make an inverse fair value gap, which is exactly what we saw here on the 1 minute. Like I said, I got on around 5 minutes after, and I believe price was somewhere around here at the time. So I just felt as if within my risk management parameters, and also just I felt at the time it was too late of like an entry. Hindsight, yeah, now I can say, I could have waited to see on my phone if we came back and tapped in this inverse fair value gap, which we literally did in the same candle, and in the next one we wicked above it and all that. But yeah, I don't know. I was trying to get on my setup, and if I would have entered here, I it would have been more than my uh recommended daily loss limit. Although I think I did go still a little bit over today. But still, my first trade, I'm trying to keep it less than my daily loss, in case I do want to take a second trade on the day, um, which I also kind of broke, or not, actually not necessarily, but we'll get into that. But yeah, since my bias the night before though, was bullish, that still doesn't hinder me from wanting to take this. It's just, again, I would have wished to enter off here, stops above this high, which would have been less than a 200 loss, and then main profit taken off at the accumulation lows, which would have been a nice 1 to 2. Hold runners. If I would have held runners, I could have targeted this low, and then even these lows down here where we have this fair value gap down below. It would have been a pretty nice trade, but it is not something I had got into. But I was glad to see it happening while it was happening, when I had first gone on the charts. Um, Now switching over to MNQ, around that same area we were just looking at a second ago. Over here, we had, as you may have seen on the other one, I think we had an SMT forming. Um, we were, holding these inverse fair value gaps. I think we were even holding like a 3 or 5 minute bullish fair value gap. And so then after this wick down, I had taken an inverse off this 1 minute, stop below this low, ultimately targeting high of day, and I would have taken partials off in this 3 minute. Oh nice. This 3 minute bearish fair value gap, targeting the 50%, or the equilibrium of the fair value gap, which we were, uh I think, like a couple ticks, yeah, 2 ticks off from hitting. And once we got above this high, it set my stops to break even. We got stopped out at break even. Um, then I come to find out it literally didn't matter anyways, because it was on the practice account on the combine. I forgot if I took it through Trade or on here, but yeah, I had the DOM pulled up. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, because I was looking at NQ on the chart today. I just was not on MNQ, so I had the DOM pulled up from Trade and was using the DOM to trade and didn't see that it was on the practice account. So technically, that's why I took 3 trades today because I just didn't consider this one. Coming here into the beginning of PM session, we had this rally up, taking out these previous highs, and then coming above this bearish fair value gap, which we inversed. We were holding, I think it was like a 3 minute down here. We had a 1 minute, took the entry. As soon as I took the entry, by the way, as you saw, this kind of got moved, so this wasn't my risk to reward, and I can't pull up execution since we're in the afternoon. Since we're in the PM session, or not PM session, after market session. But yeah, it was something like this. But as soon as I had entered, volume just kind of went lackluster. I was thinking of taking off the trade around somewhere around here before we ended up getting stopped out, but I just wanted to respect my take profit and stop loss, as that's something I just had done recently, which I barely ever do, is taking the trade off early, and it ended up hitting our take profit that time, which is usually why you should never do that, and just accept the trade. But yeah, it's like it was hard to want to keep it with the way I knew how volume was, and I would have rather just taken it off like a little bit above, and wait till 2 p.m. But I said nope, I'm gonna respect that I took the trade and just accept whatever happens. And so then we ended up being stopped out here. And then, yeah, so uh, again, I just wanted to. I was again like it's like it seems like in my recent videos that I've been married to a bias, and I think I literally said in my last one like I kind of was, but like I really am not. It's not so much the bias; it's so much about, I would say, like the draw on liquidity and just like the confluences we're seeing. But like price action last week was not so favorable. Price action today was honestly not that bad. Especially because if we look at Forex Factory, it was a no news Monday, and we actually had like some decent moves. It's just the fact that like this draw on liquidity or anything that like, again, like here, it just, anything that looked like we were gonna have a huge move was not the moves. Like it did not move when it looked like we were forming the move. And so again, we had decent price action. It's just from what I had seen today, I was not on the right side of things. So then coming into over here, last trade of the day on, again, this was taken on MNQ, but I had just charted out on NQ. Um, we had SMTs forming here, which I didn't want to see us drive up price yet because this looked like another PDI model or AMD or Power of 3, whatever you want to call it. We seem to have the accumulation here. I was waiting for the manipulation. We took out these equal lows, took out this low, and then we started a wick. This is kind of, I like, once I saw uh I don't know, it's like once I kept seeing these like wicks, I thought maybe, volume would kind of just die out and we would kind of chop all the way out through the session, so I didn't think we were going to get it. Once I saw this though, I was pretty confident we were going to get a the move, the power of 3 move up to high of day, which has been seemed to be my target all day kind of thing, besides the morning trade that I didn't take obviously. But yeah, we ended up coming down, coming up, and inversing this 1 minute right here. As soon as we get inversed, I got in. Similar to the second trade I had taken, it looked good until we started chopping around, and that's when I had kind of figured, again, same thing. I was thinking of taking it off. Um, Not even that. I did have actually my stop originally down to here, because I was like, I am confident in this trade, the way that it's forming out. But then I realized that, and then we also had equal loads down here, but so that's one reason why I shouldn't really have taken it. But it was also just the fact that I realized I was already down, I think 130 on the day, and even me, think I set my stops right below here. Even me setting here is a little bit more than what my daily loss should be. But this is way better than, losing 300 plus down 138. That would have been that would have been over double. So I had moved my stop, and we ended up, thankfully, I did end up moving my stop because, yeah, um, as soon as I started moving my stop, a little bit after that, we had wigged down, got used as liquidity before, reversing up. We didn't come up and hit high of day, but we hit what could have been some potential profit targets. Like if we would have got in at this move, this would have been my break even, um, technically. But again, it's like things can change in the trade. Could have taken off, uh, you know, 3 here depending how the reaction would have been. But I just said break even, just to see the hold all the way up to here. But again, all that's all pretty much hindsight. But yep, one break even on the day on demo, 2 losses on the day on the combine. Very unfortunate, especially because if I could have just been on a little earlier, I probably could have caught this nice move and been done for the day. But it is what it is. Still learning, still enjoying the journey. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this market analysis, I'm glad to have provided a video, and if not, then it helps me out, so it's all good. But yeah, I will see you guys in tomorrow's aftermarket analysis journal.